So a retired Navy SEAL's Afghanistan exit strategy video goes viral amid the Biden withdrawal. So let's watch this.
Good evening. I wanted to give you an update on the current situation in Afghanistan. As you know, we were set to leave Afghanistan this month, and as we began the final drawdown, I made some critical errors. Namely, I underestimated the strength of the Taliban, and I overestimated the strength and capability of the friendly Afghan forces. This was my fault. And due to my mistake, the Taliban has taken control of Afghanistan. There are reports now that ISIS and Al-Qaeda are working alongside them. Unfortunately, there are tens of thousands of Americans on the ground there, as well as friends and allies of America on the ground. And these people, Americans and our allies, are all stranded. And that is my fault. But they will not be stranded for long. In the next 48 hours, America will be in control of most major airports in Afghanistan. Any resistance we meet from the Taliban or otherwise when we seize these airports will be destroyed completely and without mercy.
So the thing is, right, this is what's so crazy. If you don't know who that is, that's Jocko Willink, retired Navy SEAL. And the thing that is depressing to see, because one, Jocko is amazing, right? But if Biden simply did exactly what Jocko just did, people in the United States would accept it, right? If he simply did what Jocko did, owned up to his failures, owned up to the mistakes, but have a very tangible plan as to what's going on, right? It's like, hey, this situation's bad. I screwed up. I underestimated basically every aspect of the situation, but we're going to solve it. And this is how we're going to solve it, right? And be willing to go and solve it. If Biden simply did that, regardless of which way you end up leaning on, left, right, center, whatever, you would accept it and you would support it, right? Because the thing is, for the majority of Americans, they wanted us to be out of Afghanistan. It's the way that it happened, right? Which is the failure. I mean, just think about it. We literally abandoned our own citizens in a country that had the Taliban in it, that had people in it that want to kill basically every American citizen, right? Does that make sense? To just abandon your own citizens in a land that their lives are in danger, right? So let's get into the story. So a retired Navy SEAL has gone viral after posting a video to Instagram in which he pretends to be the President of the United States giving a national address on the situation in Afghanistan, taking the blame for the chaos and critical errors made in the withdrawal process and offering his solution for how to extract stranded Americans. Jocko Willink uploaded the 3.5-minute video to the social media site on Monday night with the caption, "If I were president and I had put our country into the current situation in Afghanistan, I would tell America, our allies, our enemies in the world, something like this." Good evening, which is where this video ended up starting. I wanted to give you an update on the current situation in Afghanistan. As you know, we were set to leave Afghanistan this month, and as we began the final drawdown, I made some critical errors, Willink said in the black and white video. He continued by saying he overestimated the strength of the Afghan forces while underestimating the strength of the Taliban. Willink's video comes just over a week after the capital city of Afghanistan, Kabul, fell to Taliban forces in a lightning offensive, paving the way for the militant group to take over the country. The war-torn country has seen thousands attempting to flee since. Which, I don't know if you caught this before, but America was literally trying to charge people $2,000 a ticket to escape. Like, just think about that as well. Like, how stupid is that? So Willink emphasized that this was his mistake, adding that tens of thousands of Americans and allies remain on the ground, stranded. Throughout the video, Willink detailed the steps he would take to resolve the conflict and rescue the American citizens and allies, including swift rescue missions and recovering or destroying military equipment left behind, which I guess is the full 3-minute clip because this was just like a minute and 30-second clip. So in the next 48 hours, America will be in control of most major airports in Afghanistan, he said. Any resistance we meet from the Taliban or otherwise when we seize these airports will be destroyed completely and without mercy. Anyone who interferes with these operations will be killed, he added. So Willink explained that after those steps, the United States would continue to monitor Afghanistan, particularly for terrorist activity or human rights violations, offering support until the enemy is no longer a threat to humanity or the good people of Afghanistan. May God bless America and may God have mercy on the souls of our enemies because we will not, he said at the end of the video. So as the U.S. is nearing the August 31st deadline for the full troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, the Biden administration has faced bipartisan backlash for their initial response and failure to provide information on Americans being evacuated. And on Monday, Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby was slammed for being deliberately vague when talked about how many Americans have been evacuated, only saying that there have been thousands. So National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan defended the vague language during a later White House press conference, explaining that not all Americans in the country registered or deregistered when they left, making it hard to present an accurate number. And since August 14th, over 58,700 people have been flown out of Afghanistan, according to the White House. It is unknown how many Americans are still in the country. So again, like, this is basically what the president should have done and should actually still end up doing in response to this whole situation, right? Because the thing is, like, this is a situation where the president simply did it just because he wanted to do it, right? Because apparently he was advised by multiple people to not pull out the way that he did, but he still did, which is causing mayhem. And the thing is, this is potentially costing a lot of taxpayers a lot of money in the future as well. Because you got to think about it. If the president, Joe Biden, does not go with like basically the plan that Jocko Willink pretty much laid out, and he ends up going down the route that a lot of people are assuming that he's probably going to go down, which is basically try to bribe the Taliban. What you got to think about is, okay, so we are going to fund a terrorist organization that wants to kill us. So all of our taxpayer money, not, well, all of it, but some of our taxpayer money, right, that we're already super leveraged on because of all the stimulus checks and all that stuff, right? Since we've already been like printing so much money, right? We're going to end up printing more money still from our taxpayers again to bribe a terrorist organization that has our weapons that our taxpayers paid for, right? Like, just think about that. That's basically like a situation where you're paying the thief that stole your wallet $1,000 on top of them just stealing your wallet, right? Like, it's just crazy when you really think about it. Like, this this is a situation that's going to most likely end up turning really bad, right? If it's not handled correctly, this is going to go really bad because guess what? The Taliban basically put like a red line when it came to that date, August 31st, right? Basically saying like, if the United States does not stick to that like 31st deadline, you could pretty much guess what the Taliban is going to be doing. And it's not going to be painting roses, right? It's more like going to be placing roses on the corpses of thousands of American citizens over there. So just think about that for a second.